In this video, we will show you how to install your Swiftech X3 AIO kit. The new X3 AIO features a new radiator pump combo with a tempered glass reservoir, new high-efficiency fans with Iris-compatible RGB LEDs, and Swiftech's new CPU water block, the Apogee SKF LT. Begin by removing the fill screw from the radiator and squeeze in the desired colored dye that is included with your kit. This is optional, the dye is purely for aesthetic purposes. Be sure to reinstall the fill screw after pouring in the dye. Make sure the screw is snug, but do not over-tighten as to not strip the threads. Using a screwdriver, remove the screws holding the fans to the radiator. Remove the fans. Certain Intel CPUs require installation of a CPU backplate. Peel off the protective strips from the adhesive pads and fix the backplate to the motherboard, being sure to line up the threads with the corresponding holes in the motherboard. Insert the appropriate standoff hardware into the threads around the CPU and thread by hand until tight. Line up the radiator and fans with the appropriate mounting holes on your case. Different cases may have different mounting solutions. On this case, the fans sit on top while the radiator mounts from below, sandwiching the top of the case in between. Tighten the radiator mounting screws in a crisscross pattern to ensure proper alignment. Peel off the protective backing from the Apogee SKF LT water block and apply a generous amount of the included thermal paste to the processor. Carefully install the water block onto the processor and begin tightening the mounting nuts in a crisscross star pattern. When you can no longer tighten by hand, use a screwdriver and continue threading the nuts in a star pattern one revolution at a time until they are tight. The water cooling hardware installation is now complete. Next, we will install the pump, fan, and LED wiring into the included Iris controller. Begin by selecting a location on the case that all the wires are able to reach. Before you connect any fans or LEDs, be sure to first install the signal wire for the water pump. This plugs into the connector labeled Channel 1, which is covered by a red cap distinguishing it from the other connectors. Install the remaining fan and LED cables. The fans use 4-pin connectors, and the LEDs use 3-pin connectors. The Iris LEDs on the fans can be daisy-chained together. Next, connect the two SATA power connectors for the pump and Iris controller to the power supply. Connect the Iris controller to the CPU fan header on the motherboard. If available, connect the Iris MB link hub to the addressable LED header on your motherboard. Be sure that you do not connect it to a regular RGB header, as the higher voltage will result in damage to the Iris LEDs. Power on the system and check to make sure that there are no leaks and that the fans and pump are all operating correctly. Installation is now complete.